Ever struggled with that tricky balance in a commercial kitchen? You know, trying to gently wash fragile greens so they don't just fall apart.
Or on the flip side, really getting things clean without feeling like you're using a fire hose.
Exactly. It's such a common headache, getting that rinse just right, gentle, but, effective.
Absolutely. And, well, that's really the heart of what we're diving into today. It's not just about water, it's about finding a smarter way.
Right. So our deep dive today is looking closely at a specific piece of tech aimed right at this problem, the UltraRinse Faucet. We're basing this on an article from April 14th, 2025.
Okay, so a focused look at a tool that's really trying to solve a fundamental kitchen need.
Yeah, our mission, let's say, is to really get under the hood and see how this UltraRinse faucet offers this better way to rinse in those super busy commercial kitchens. The article paints it as more than just another tap.
Like an engineered solution.
Exactly, with some pretty clever features for efficiency and, crucially, food safety.
And for you listening, maybe you're right there in kitchen operations, or you're focused on safety and efficiency, maybe just curious about new food service tech. Well, this dive should give you a pretty clear, quick understanding of what this faucet actually does and why it might be a significant upgrade. We'll cut to the chase.
Okay, let's start unpacking it then. The article kind of begins by hinting at the problems with, standard pre-rinse faucets. It doesn't list every single issue, but you get the sense that normal nozzles, well, they aren't always ideal.
Especially not for delicate stuff, right?
Right. Or maybe not thorough enough for other things.
That's a really good point. Traditional faucets, they often rely on sheer force, that high pressure, to blast away stuck-on food.
Yeah.
Which is way too harsh for, say, salad greens or herbs. But then if you turn it down, a softer flow might not actually clean effectively. It's a trade-off.
Okay, so this is where the UltraRinse steps in. The core idea seems to be this patented fan spray design. What's different about that approach?
Well, what's really interesting is the move away from that single concentrated jet we usually see. Instead, you get this soft, wide sort of curtain of water. And the article specifically mentions its use for washing produce and thawing protein.
Oh, produce and thawing, got it.
The immediate benefit, the one that jumps right out, is less food damage, less bruising, less tearing during prep.
Yeah.
And that connects directly to food safety and cutting down on waste.
So instead of one power jet, it's this wider, gentler shower almost. And the article also mentions a unique spray arm design, not like the usual swing nozzles.
Yeah, that's another key piece.
What's the difference there? How does that make the fan spray work better?
The really crucial bit is what they call multiple angled tips on the spray arm. These aren't just holes pointing straight down. They're angled precisely to create better surface contact. Imagine trying to rinse, a head of broccoli with just one stream versus several streams hitting it from different angles all at once.
I get it. It's like lots of little jets working together, hitting more of the surface. That's smart.
Exactly.
So for delicate greens, that wider, gentler contact makes total sense, less bruising. But how does that angled spray help with, say, thawing frozen meat? That seems different.
Well, if you think about safe thawing practices, getting an even rinse is important. Those multiple angled tips give a more uniform, thorough rinsing action across the surface.
Okay.
This helps wash away any surface ice, maybe some packaging residue, more effectively. It prepares the protein properly while, crucially, minimizing those temperature shifts that could be a safety risk.
Right, avoiding the danger zone.
And the article explicitly says thorough cleaning with less waste. So it's hitting both efficiency, less spoilage, and that safety angle again.
Directly tackling food safety and kitchen efficiency.
Yeah, the article really leans into how these angled tips maximize the water coverage. Why is that coverage so important for safety? It comes down to the basics of cleaning, really. By getting water onto more of the food surface area at once, the UltraRinse is just inherently more effective at washing away dirt, grit, and, yes, bacteria.
Makes sense.
A wider spray pattern is much more likely to dislodge contaminants from all those little nooks and crannies compared to a narrow jet that might just blast past them.
Yeah, you could miss spots easily with a single jet.
For sure. So that direct link to better food safety is a huge selling point, especially in high-volume kitchens where you need things done fast and right.
And it keeps circling back to this phrase, gentle yet thorough spray. Sounds like they really worked on hitting that sweet spot.
Exactly. The soft spray isn't about being weak. It's about being engineered for the specific job. The article mentions restaurants where presentation and freshness matter.
Which is most restaurants, really.
Right. Keeping those expensive, delicate ingredients looking good and staying fresh is vital. This spray helps clean without wrecking the quality.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. If you're running a kitchen and thinking about installing this, certifications are obviously important. The article lists NSF 61 Section 9, NSF 372, and ADA compliant. Can you break those down a bit? What do they mean practically?
Yeah, absolutely. These are important reassurances. NSF 61 Section 9, generally that relates to drinking water system components. For you, that means the materials in the faucet itself won't leach anything harmful into the water.
So safe water for rinsing food.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Directly impacts food safety, customer health, big legal and reputational stuff there. Then NSF 372, that specifically certifies low lead content. Again, peace of mind that lead isn't getting into your food supply via the faucet.
Good. And ADA?
ADA compliant means it's designed to be accessible for people with disabilities, which is just good practice for an inclusive workplace, right?
Definitely. Now, thinking about installation, the article says it's retrofit-ready. That sounds like a big plus for existing kitchens.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Being retrofit-ready for existing T&S pre-rinse or manual faucets, specifically those with a swivel outlet body, means you can upgrade without tearing out plumbing.
Ah, so no major renovation needed.
Probably not. It allows for a much smoother, less disruptive, and likely less expensive integration into the kitchen you already have. Big win for practicality.
Okay. It also talks about a simple 2-mode handle, spray and fill. What's the benefit there?
Control and versatility, basically. You get the specialized fan spray for your rinsing tasks.
Right, the produce, the thawing.
Exactly. And then you flick it to fill mode, and you get a standard, more direct stream for filling pots, sinks, whatever.
So you don't need 2 separate faucets at the prep sink, necessarily.
Precisely. It streamlines things. 1 tool, 2 functions, right there at the handle. Makes the prep line more efficient.
They seem to have thought about different kitchen sizes, too, mentioning various size options and mounting styles. What are the choices there?
Yeah, they offer different spray arm lengths. There's a 10-inch arm, which has 3 of those fan spray tips, and a longer 16-inch arm that has 5 tips for wider coverage, presumably.
Right, for bigger sinks, maybe?
And these arms are paired with specific swing nozzle lengths. The 10-inch arm goes with a 12-inch nozzle, and the 16-inch arm with an 18-inch nozzle. It's about getting the right reach and coverage for your setup.
And the mounting, how does it attach?
You've got options there, too. Single-hole deck mount, 8-inch deck mount that's pretty standard spacing, and also an 8-inch wall mount option. So quite adaptable to different plumbing configurations.
So yeah, a decent range to fit various kitchens. The article kind of wraps up with a standard, contact us to learn more.
Pretty typical call to action, yeah. It just signals that if you're interested, you can get more detailed info, maybe figure out the exact model that fits your kitchen best.
Now, it's worth noting the source here. This article is on a blog associated with Rapids Wholesale, and the page also mentions Rapids Contract and Design and Star Foodservice Equipment Repair. What does that tell us?
Well, it puts the product in context, doesn't it? It shows it's coming from a company that's pretty embedded in the food service equipment world, not just selling stuff, but potentially involved in kitchen design and maintenance, too.
Right, gives it some industry background. And if you look further down that page, you see things like related posts asking what is a beer tap or is a Perlick faucet worth it?
Yeah, other equipment-focused content.
And there's also a related products section showing different UltraRinse models with prices listed, like $660.83 for one specific configuration.
So for you listening, if this has caught your interest, there are immediate next steps right there on the page to dig deeper into the specifics, the costs, and related topics.
Makes sense. And finally, just for context, the article is categorized under Product Spotlight and Tips and Tricks, tagged with things like commercial kitchen equipment. There's also a recent post noted about Rapids Wholesale winning an award.
All just helps frame where this information sits. You know, it's a spotlight on a specific product within the broader food service equipment landscape.
Okay, so let's try and distill this. What's the core takeaway from this UltraRinse faucet based on the article?
I think it really boils down to a few key things. First, that gentle but effective rinsing action.
Yeah.
Good for delicate produce, good for thawing proteins. Second, the potential for improved food safety because of that better coverage, washing away more contaminants. Third, reduced food waste because you're not damaging ingredients as much.
Right. Less waste, better safety.
And finally, that ease of integration, the retrofit capability is a big practical plus.
Yeah, it seems like a very targeted solution for some common kitchen prep headaches, focusing on efficiency, safety, and ingredient quality.
Precisely, a focused innovation.
So here's something to think about. We often focus on the big equipment, right? Ovens, ranges, walk-ins. But considering the daily grind, the constant pressure for speed and quality in a kitchen, how much impact could a seemingly small upgrade, like a specialized faucet, actually have on your day-to-day operations? And maybe even on the final quality of the food you serve?
It makes you wonder about the cumulative effect of those smaller, smarter improvements, doesn't it? Those little efficiencies adding up.
Exactly. Something to chew on. And hey, if this deep dive got you thinking about optimizing your own kitchen setup, maybe checking out that Rapids wholesale blog or site could be a good next step.